Hello everybody and welcome to live market analysis using supply and demand. You have myself, Simon Klein. It's May the 11th, 2022. So welcome everybody. We're just after 1 p.m. Eastern time. This is a live presentation and we're going to be jumping into the live market. If you've been here before, you're still going to learn something new. If you haven't been here before and this is your first time, you're definitely going to learn something new that will help you with your trading and will be actionable. You can put it into action straight away, okay? And you can see how this will affect your trading. Just a quick disclaimer, just bear in mind all comments we make here, I make here, are for educational purposes only. You'll know there's a high degree of risk involved in all types of trading, and we're not responsible for your trading and investment results. So this is what we're going to cover today. That's the question, why am I always wrong? We're going to go into professional chart reading, and you won't find this in a book. I'm going to cover a little bit about supply and demand, and then we're going to take that knowledge into the live markets and we're going to analyze primarily Forex. We're going to look at maybe some stocks, futures contracts. We'll definitely be looking at Bitcoin. It's very topical at the moment. And maybe some commodities. We may look at gold, oil. And then I'll open up for audience questions and answers at the end. So here's a picture of me giving a presentation at the New York Traders Expo some time ago. And more recently, I was invited to speak in China at the Boga Investment Forum, along with other finance ministers and some of the top traders in the world as well. Okay, for those of you who are here for the first time, you can read a little bit about me here. I started my professional life actually at Credit Suisse after graduating from University College London many moons ago. And I started by taking the Series 7 exam. My first trading account that I traded was a $500,000 account. That's what I started with. And that was buying power. TradeSmart is a trading education business, and we focus on teaching you how to read the market professionally and how to run a successful trading business, including how to develop your own trading plan and strategies which fit your personality and lifestyle. So this is the problem. Why am I always wrong? So again, what I'm sharing with you today is based on over 16 years of real market experience, okay? And like many beginning traders, things weren't always easy. And I started trading with a number of professional traders on a trading floor. And there were two traders that were up every single day, anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000 within the first half an hour of the opening. I traded the New York Stock Exchange at the open, and we traded throughout the day as well, but most of the money was made in the first half an hour to an hour of trading. And I was the counter indicator at the beginning. When I used to call out a stock or whatever that I was going to trade, and I say, I don't know, whatever it was, IBM long, they would be on the short side. How would I know? Those two traders, I was the counter indicator because I was a newbie trader, and whatever I called out, I was usually on the wrong side of the market or my timing was completely off. So I used to go and I used to look over their shoulders to see what positions they were in or what trades they had taken. And if I was long, they would be on the short side. They wouldn't even look, they'd just go short. So I was a counter indicator. So let me share with you what this is like. And if you can relate to this, just type a yes in the chat area. So the market looks something like this. And you see the market going up. And you start trading. I remember my first trade I ever took, which was probably over 17 years ago now. And I remember with that $500,000 account, I took my first trade with 100 shares and my knees were shaking. It was quite a nerve-wracking experience because I had never really done it before in that capacity. Even though I was trained, I did my Series 7. I was trained by some of the top traders in the world. And more about that later of how I came onto the way I'm trading today and the way I'm training traders all over the world how to trade. So basically the market's going up and you take your first trade over here and you buy because the market's going up. It's in an uptrend and it goes in your favor a little bit, and all of a sudden the market turns to the downside and it comes down here and you're watching your P&L at this point and you can't believe it. It's down 100, 200, 400, 800 and you can't take it anymore. You look at the loss and you think, I gotta get out. I'm on the wrong side of the market, and you take your first losing trade. And then what do most beginner traders do? They say, wow, I just lost about $1,000 on this trade. I was on the wrong side. I'm going to make that money back. Instead of, I got the direction wrong. It's a downtrend. So you double up and you go on the short side over here. And the market now goes a little bit in your favor, and you see you're making a little bit, you're up $400 over here, and all of a sudden the market turns around and it goes against you, and you're down somewhere around $2,000 here because you got double the position on, and you take your second losing trade. Now you're down for the day about $3,000, and you're not feeling very good about yourself. Now you're going to try and get that money back. So what do? You say, well, I should be on the long side. So you take your third trade over here on the long side, and it goes in your favor a little bit, and then the market turns to the downside. You take your third losing trade over here, and you throw your arms in the air and you go, whatever I do, this is not good. I'm on the wrong side of the market. So you take a step back and you're starting to get a bit cleverer here. You're starting to learn. You learn about support and resistance, or supply and demand. Supply and demand is not the same. Support and resistance is abstract. Supply and demand is real. Is the reasoning behind support and resistance is supply and demand in the market. So you learn about this and say this supply level over here, and this is a demand level. So prices seem to be dropping from this level. So I shouldn't be buying up here. I should be selling up here. And down here I shouldn't be selling. I should be buying. So the market comes up here. And you've learned every time it goes up here, it goes down. So now you take your fourth trade and you say it's going to go down just like it did over here and here. And what happens this time? The market continues to move to the upside, and you take your fourth losing trade, you throw your arms up in the air, you're down probably about $10,000 by this point, and you're like, oh my. This is crazy. But guess what? You don't give up because it's trading and you're hooked. Once you start this, it's like the most exhilarating job in the world, and it looks so easy to do. But yet it's so, it's not as easy as it seems, at least at the beginning. So what you need to do is learn about supply and demand, and you need to understand when price is likely to break a zone or when it's likely to turn. And over here, the odds were it's more likely to break and then turn, because there's now more what we call demand than supply at this level. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is to bear in mind that this is, what I'm sharing today is based on years and years of market experience and figuring out by making many mistakes on the way. Now, I was taught to trade the New York Stock Exchange specialist way of trading. This is how I started out. And I was taught by some of the best traders in the world. And we were very profitable at the beginning. But the system I was taught to trade no longer worked once the New York Stock Exchange went hybrid, part computer, part human. We were taught to spot what the specialist was doing by watching the time and sales and the prints going off, looking at the level 2 in the open book of the specialist, which is all those orders above and below the current price of the market. So all the limit orders above and below. And we were taught to spot by the prints going off on the time and sales. That's whenever there's a transaction that happens. Remember, every transaction is a buy and a sell. You can't say, well, this is a buy and this. If someone's selling, someone's on the other side buying. If someone's buying, someone must be selling. So every transaction is an agreement between buyer and seller to transact a certain number of shares at a certain price. At a certain time is when the transaction takes place. That's why it's called time and sales. So we were taught to look at what was going on time and sales and spot what the specialist was doing and then do what the specialist was doing. So if the specialist was buying, we'd be buying. If the specialist was selling, we'd be selling. And it worked until the New York Stock Exchange went hybrid, part computer, part human. And the system that we were taught to trade no longer worked. So it was back to the drawing board. And from there, that office closed down and I went to work for another trading floor. And my journey to discover how to trade consistently began, to develop a way of trading that would work now until the end of time. And this is what I'm sharing with you. So this is it. Professional chart reading. I believe you only need to learn really 3 things and understand multiple time frame analysis. Now, if you're looking at one time frame, these are the 3 things you need to look at. You need to understand the pivot analysis. You also need to understand supply and demand. So pivot analysis are our view on the trend. Okay? Supply and demand is how we look at the levels in the market. Support and resistance, if you want to call it that. So pivot analysis, understanding the trend. Supply and demand is where the levels are, where the market's moving from and to. And price direction, if you learn everything about Japanese candlesticks, you can almost replace that with this one simple analysis called price direction analysis, which tells you which direction is price currently moving in. Is it going up or is it going down? Isn't that a good thing to know? Imagine if price came to this supply area, for example, and direction turned down, which it does over here. Which way is it going? Down. To where? To demand. Direction turns up. Where's it going? To the upside. So that's what you can learn to do. And if we do this on multiple time frames, we get a much better view of what the market's doing. And I believe that if you can read the market well, then you can trade well. And you can pick almost any strategy that fits into how to read the market. Trading a strategy without understanding how to read the market is the same as learning to drive a car without understanding how to drive the car on a road in different road conditions. It's not going to work. It's very dangerous. So you need to know when to and how to trade under different market conditions. You can't understand different market conditions unless you know how to read the market. So if you go down here, this is what I really believe. The charts will teach you all you need to know once you have a framework for reading them. No gurus needed. You don't need anyone else. Once you've got that framework and you use that framework in the market every single day, the market will start to teach you, and you'll start to find and discover yourself in the market, what you see happening again and again. You will find your edge in the market as well. That will be uniquely fit to your personality and lifestyle, and then you'll be able to succeed, or you'll have a much greater chance of succeeding as a trader, rather than taking someone else's edge, which they developed after many years of hard work. That works for them, that's fit to their personality and lifestyle, and try and make it fit you. Much like going to your friend who's got a tailor-made suit that fits them and saying, well, I'll just take that from you. It doesn't fit you, different size. It's not going to work. It's never going to work unless you're exactly the same size as them. So you have to make it your own first. So this is an approach to reading the market. Developing a strategy comes after you know how to read the market. So let's go back to basics. And the buzzword that I wanted to mention before about the way I was taught to trade is disruption. It's a very big word used in today's society because new technology comes out all the time and it disrupts what came before it and changes most of the time for the better. So you have to move with the times. But if you base your trading on a timeless methodology, you'll never have to learn anything else like I had to do at the beginning. You'll never have to change the way you trade. Because if it's timeless, it'll work now and it'll work tomorrow, and it doesn't matter what happens to technology. The original way I was taught to trade was based on specialist system, was based on technology, was based on the fact that the specialist was a human being. But when that was partly computerized, the system I was taught to trade no longer worked. So it was back to the drawing board. But this methodology, this way of trading, this way of reading the market, you'll never have to learn anything else. You can focus on this and get better at this every single day, like every skill. Purposeful practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Practice the wrong way, you'll never get perfect. If you practice the wrong way, you'll get good at doing it the wrong way, which is why many people don't succeed as traders, because they keep doing the same wrong thing time and time again, expecting to get different results, expecting to suddenly succeed and make money, and it will never happen until they start doing things the right way and start practicing the right way and start trading the right way and start reading the market the right way and start trusting themselves and not any guru. You're never going to become a successful trader until you make it yourself. You have to learn from other people, but it has to become yours first. This is the methodology. This is the way that you can do it. Let's have a look at this scenario over here. So most people are taught over here that when you see this, what are you thinking to do? Is this a bearish bar? So this is the Swissy, the dollar Swiss. And this is on the hourly chart. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th bar up goes like this. What do you expect to happen after this? This is a shooting star, yeah? Is this generally bearish or bullish? In this scenario, in this case, what you're seeing in front of you, what do you want to do over here? Do you want to buy or sell? Okay, so let's see what actually happened here. Market continues to move up. Actually, this bar is bullish in this context. Most people think bearish. Now, everyone put their hand up at the New York Traders Expo in the room when I was actually physically there, not virtually, really there. And almost every single person raised their hand in that room and said bullish. Said bearish, sorry, not bullish, bearish bar. But actually, go and see what happened. It's bullish. We saw this in our trading room. We said, we're buying here, and this is our first target. Now, let's see what happened. Most people think this. Most people think sell. But what does the market actually do? It continues moving to the upside. So guess what? After doing this and being on the wrong side of this type of trade time and time again, I went and I looked at many trades where I was selling after this type of bar and it was doing this, and I'm like, well, what's going on here? So remember what I said at the beginning. Once you have a framework for reading the market, you'll be able to understand every single market, and the market will teach you how to read it. The market's going to teach you how to get better all the time once you have that framework. So let's put the framework into play exactly in this scenario. So let's ask the 3 questions. In terms of trend, let's go for the first one, pivot analysis. Is this market moving up or down at this point? So here we have a higher low. Here we have a higher high. From a pivot perspective, the market's moving up. 1 point to the upside. Okay, let's now look at price direction. Which direction is the market going in at this point? Well, the market changed direction here to the upside, and we're pointing in the up direction. So direction is up. So the market's pointing up. That's 2 points now, 2 out of 2 for the upside. Third thing we need to look at is supply and demand. Well, here we had a supply level. This market, this bar over here, went above and cleared above supply. The next supply level's over here, and then there's another one over here. Marked out. These are levels, as they're zones. So in terms of supply and demand, we're between supply and demand, pointing to the upside. So where are we going? To the next level. So the market continues. So from a supply-demand perspective, we're going higher. So if we look at every perspective of the way that we analyze the market, from a trend perspective, we're going up. From supply and demand, we're going up. From a price direction perspective, going up. So there's no reason to sell here. The odds are it's going up. This is what happened. Once you've got that framework, you'll be able to read the market and understand exactly why it's doing what it's doing. If you look at this candlestick in isolation, oh yes, it's a move up in price. Yes, we're after a move up in price, and we get a bearish candlestick that looks like a shooting star, and I should be selling. Well, guess what? You're going to be wrong most of the time. And this happens all the time in the market. And when you see it, you think the opposite of what most people think. So there's part of what I've done over time is built up scenarios like this where most people think this, but actually the market does this the majority of the time. In this scenario, the market does this probably about 90% of the time. It's going to continue going to the upside. Okay, so let's just ask you guys a quick question. Let me see if I can get this up. Polls. Let's go over this. So far, I'm going to set a poll. Did you guys learn something new so far? Does this kind of make you start thinking, I need to have a framework for reading the market. Maybe I could use this framework myself in my own trading and understand what's going on so I can trade better. So I can actually not just take a strategy and trade it blindly without understanding the context. This can give me market context. I can understand what market I'm in. So for those of you who answered, great job. Everyone said yes, 100%. Good job. Good job. Okay, let's continue. So let's teach you a little bit about supply and demand. What is supply and demand, and why does it matter? Well, guess what? Supply and demand, as I said before, this is very, very important because this is what causes price movement in every single market on planet Earth. Prices will always move higher if there's more demand than supply. That is, there's more willing buy orders or buyers at a certain price level than willing sellers. Imagine you're waiting in a queue, in a line, as they say in America, to buy something. And the first 100 people can buy it for $100, and then it goes back to the price of $200. And you're in the shop and you need to buy that item. You need to have it. if you are number 101, you need to buy it. There's no more supply at the $100 level and you need to buy it. So what are you going to pay? You're going to pay $200 for it. Price goes up when there's more demand than supply. Once the supply is gone at that price, you want it, you're going to have to pay a higher price. And it works the other way around as well. When there's more supply than demand, there's more willing sellers at certain price levels and the buyers have already bought everything on that price level and the sellers want to sell more, they're going to have to lower the prices because there's no buyers at those high prices. So prices will go lower. And guess what? When prices move sideways, that's where supply and demand are in equilibrium. When there's an agreement to transact, there's no overwhelming demand or supply at certain price levels. So let's ask a question. What moves markets? Most people tell you, oh, it could be the news, it could be this earnings, it could be this. Well, guess what? If the market's closed and a news event comes out and it's over the weekend, the market doesn't move. So what moves the market? People move the market. And a build-up of buy or sell orders is what we call supply or demand. Supply and demand move the market. What's the reason why there's imbalances of supply and demand? It doesn't really matter. If you can spot it on the market in the chart, then does it matter why? I was always told as a trader, if you're asking the question why, the good news comes out and the market's going down and down and you're buying and you're going, why? It's going to go up and you buy more. It goes down more. You buy more. It's going to turn. It's great news. I don't understand. Why? Why is it not going up? Why is it going down? And you buy more and it keeps going down. You're going to wipe yourself out. You have to trade what the market is doing, not what you think it's going to do, based on your understanding of the news, which could be completely wrong. There may be other information that you're not privy to, the reason why it's going down. So the important thing to know about this is, if you learn trading from a supply-demand perspective, using supply and demand, you'll never have to learn anything else because guess what? This will never change. It's timeless. You're not going to learn one thing now and new technology comes out or the market changes and like, oh, this doesn't work anymore. I'm going to have to start learning a new skill now. No. No, you won't have to do that. So that's the advantage of learning this way of trading. You can learn one thing and get better at it every single day. So your next job is to identify supply and demand on a chart. Once you can do that, then you know where the market's moving from and to. And we're going to jump into the live market very shortly. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You want to look for areas in the market and not all areas are equal. This is why you need to go into this in more detail. So I'm going to share with you the basics here. You want to look for turning points in the market, significant turning points, and mark out areas of demand or significant supply areas where there's a big turn to the downside. So your job is to identify high probability turning points. Now, it is recommended that you take our trading program, but again, it depends how you learn. And what I'm going to do towards the end of this presentation is share with you how you can take the first step and actually come and join our live trading room for a whole month at no cost so that you can actually see us put this into action every single day in the market. You'll learn how to read the trend, and then you'll come into the live trading room and you'll see us talk about this every single day and how we base our trades on this. So what I'm going to do is reveal to you now how we do this. We're going to jump into the live market. So just type a yes in the chat area if you guys are ready to jump into the live market, and we will pull up the charts. So actually what I'm going to do is start with Bitcoin. Okay, this is very interesting. And we're going to start on the monthly chart. Now, I want to show you something very interesting about Bitcoin. We've called every single major move in our trading room in Bitcoin. So since the beginning of this is Bitcoin futures. So we called it down here. We called this move here to the upside. We called this move up. We called this move up. And we called this move to the downside. And what we're doing now is if we don't hold this level, then the market's probably going down further. Now, one thing to know once you know how to read the trend. Yeah, these are levels. This is a demand level. Notice when we came down and hit this level, which is about halfway of this move up, we moved to new highs. Notice when the market came down, we pivoted here and we put in a higher low. But over here is where the trend broke. And now we're no longer in an upward moving market until we get above here again, or until we fail to make a new low. Now notice we put in a lower high and a lower low. This is how you read trend. And this is demand, which is why we're stopping here. But what you can say is from this month, is what we said in our trading room, the odds of going down here are very high, over 90%, that the market's going to go below here before it goes above here. And or if it ever goes above that, it may do, but not now. And you can see so far this month, what we said at the beginning of the month, beginning of May, 11 days into May, the second week or whatever of May, and you can see the market moved down. And you can see this here as well. Okay, you can see the market moving down. Now, one thing to know about this area, notice we have this as supply, this is demand. But notice that we've been here many times. Notice if we break this, the next level down's here. So you can see we've got these levels. This was a level, this was a level. We turned here and pointed down, so we went down to this area. Yeah, and you can see over here, we also broke the upward move of here. This was an upward move, and this broke below here, marking out supply. Okay. So at the moment, what we can say, likely if the market closes today here and we don't go above here, the market's likely going down, and we could reach levels if we break below 30,000. I think it's 29. We're at 29,830. What's the low here? It's 28,900. So we're at 29.8. So we break below 28,900 and stay below, the market's likely going down to 20,000. Okay, so if you would have listened and come to the trading room at the beginning of the month we're around 40,000. We hit today below, and yesterday we hit around 30,000. So it was a 25% drop. Okay, if you understand how to read these levels, and you can see we go down to a daily chart here, you can see this level broke, and now we stopped at this level and we bounce back. This becomes supply, and now we're here. Once we break, and if we break this level, we go down to the next one. Notice how spot on we are with these levels. See this level? Look where we stopped. We came below. Now these are all drawn out ahead of time. Hence, you can see the next level down here is down here on the monthly chart. But on the weekly chart, we also have levels. The weekly chart, the next level down, if we go down, is around this 20,000 area. And we also have this gap area here as well, about 25,000 would be an area where we could stop. So if we break this, we've got levels below where we're going. And once we were down here, if we fail to go above here and we turned, you want to trade on to the short side, and likewise up here. So that's Bitcoin. Now let's go into the dollar. The dollar was a great one to talk about as well. So again, we've caught the major move. I did a presentation in China at the beginning of last year over here. We were down here. Now I said, and maybe I can find this presentation and share it with you so you'll see what I said before it played out. Okay, this is no good to say, oh, you buy here and you sell up there after it happened. No, you want to do it beforehand. That's what we do in our trading room every single day. Now, watch what happens here. Market comes down here. Now, I know that if the market pivots here, this is the bottom of a base, and likely from here we're going back up to the top of the base, and you can see we've actually gone above it now. So I said last year over here, if we were to close February here, we're going up, and you can see what happened. The market came down, changed trends here, and then moved all the way to the top of the base, and now we've just gone above the base, and we're very bullish at the moment. Market's very bullish, and we're chopping sideways. Now notice how these zones work. And you can see the intraday zones. We're in a sideways chopping market. So how do you want to trade this one for the time being? Now notice how we went above this area. And we said this in our trading room today. We shot up. And we said when we hit here, you don't want to be on the buy side up here. You don't want to buy after moves up into supply. Not this level. It's not going to stop at this level because there's no more supply there. So we went through it, stopped at the level above, and then came all the way back down to demand. And then we're going back up again. This is a base. So when you get big moves to the top of the base and big moves to the bottom of the base, which is how the market's played up today, and you can see this clearly on the 4-hour chart, that's when you want to, you see this? Clear base. Top, bottom. So big move until we're ready to break, which we actually may be at some point. And the market's bullish here. Yeah. So maybe we're going to continue to the upside, and we know where the next level is on the monthly chart over here. The next level is the next level up here. So we've already gone above this level. So the next level's up here if we continue. Now, since we're after an extended move to the upside that broke above supply, the market needs to rest. So we go sideways, and sideways is a good kind of sign that we may be ready to continue to the upside. And again, it depends how the market plays out. And once we watch the price action, we'll know what the market's likely to do. So we wait until it's clear once we know how to read the market, and then we know what we're doing. Okay, let's look at the Great British Pound. Now, again, you can see that we've got these levels marked out. Now, we were calling short. The trend changed up here to the downside, and notice how we broke below this level. And notice what I said at the beginning of the month. I said we want to short a move up down to this next level. Look at where these levels. This is the bottom of a monthly base. This is the top. This is the bottom. This was the pandemic kind of March bar where we spiked down and came back. At this point, I said if we catch a higher low here, which we did, we're going back to the top, which we did. And once we failed to go up here and we started turning to the downside, we want to be on the sell side until we get back down to the bottom of the base, being aware of demand levels on the way down that are going to likely push us up to go lower. So you can see again, intraday, look at these levels. Again, supply. Look at where we stopped. We rocketed up to here, and look where we're coming back down to, demand. So understanding how to trade these markets, understanding, you can see this on the 4-hour chart, demand, back down. Where did we go again? To the upside. Where did we go from? Back down again. You see this? Sideways market. Okay, so now let's look at the NASDAQ. Again, another market we call the top. The market is going down. And again, it's going down. It's not an upward moving market anymore. The uptrend broke over here when we went below. We're in a downward moving market at the moment. So when we reach demand, notice we're coming into a demand area here. When we reach demand in a downward, this is an upward moving market. This is now a downward moving market. So when we reach demand, we go up and go lower. But you need to know where those levels are, yeah? And you can see we've had, if we look at the weekly chart, look where we had a move up from and to, and look where it turned and where it broke. When you come back down, you see that? And now we're sitting at the next level down, which is why we're not going lower at this point. See this? So we'll probably bounce here, and then if we're going lower to the next level, whatever it did on the way up, it does on the way down. You see this is upward moving market, this is downward moving market. And we know where those levels are ahead of time. And it's pretty spot on. We know where those levels are. You see we bounced here and we're coming, and looks like we're about to break this level. You see this on the, we already broken this level on the daily chart. So likely we're going down to the next level, which is down here. Yep. So again, knowing where these levels are ahead of time means when you get moves up to, you can sell. Move up, you can sell. When it comes down here, you don't want to buy. You want to buy here maybe for one day, and then you want to sell again today. Today's a sell. We had a move down, and guess what? Move back up. It's a sell up here. Don't sell down there after the move down. Wait for it to go back up again and sell here, and then take it down. Let's look at oil. So oil's pretty interesting here, and most likely, as we said, it looks like it may go up based on the weekly chart. Now, we've already had a big move up, and we called this move up from down, well, down here we called when we actually had a negative, I think it was negative 37 on the futures contract when it was at the beginning of the pandemic. I've never seen it in my life. For the first time, the actual futures contract went negative. But here's your clue over here. We're going up, and how? And we broke above the highs over here, which we said was likely to happen. You don't want to sell here this time. And we went all up into, remember this is supply. So we're moving down, but we've gone above this level. So again, notice what this bar is. It has an element of bullishness to it because we cleared above here. And notice how this was the level we were selling against until here. Now we broke above and we hit the highs. This is zone, which actually goes all the way down here. So everywhere in here is the supply zone that produced this move down. So you got to be careful when you have a big spike up here, and we did have a nice sell-off from there. And notice again how this level on the weekly chart is holding. This is demand. We're holding. You see that? This is a level. You need to know how to recognize that. And this is supply. And you can see the market now in, on the daily chart. We've got supply up here, demand here. So today, what do you want to do? When you're in demand after a move down in a kind of sideways moving market, what do you want to do today? Today, we said you want to be on the buy side. You can see it started in the Asian session over here and continued over here into the US session. It just went up. And it started with a move down at 8 a.m. and then moved up to where? Well, notice where the next level is. We mark it. This is your next level. See this? This is supply. That's where we stop. That's where we just got now. Why? This produced this move down. So we're looking at levels that produce new moves up or down. Okay, now let's look at, let's pick something else. Let's look at gold. Have we looked at gold yet? We haven't looked at gold. Okay, notice the highs here. Market went up to the highs and is coming back down to where? This is monthly demand. What happens when we hit demand? This is monthly demand after a move down, so you can see what happened today. See, we started to move up. We had a big drop down and then a move back up again. And we've got other levels. Now notice this. This is a downward moving market. So when you move up to supply in a downward moving market like here, these are levels that we marked out ahead of time. You see this drop when the market comes back up here. What does it do? It drops, tries to go up, fails and drops. So when it comes back here again, what does it do? Drops. The same thing again and again. Once you know where those levels are, look at this level up here. See this? And up here, look at this level. Ahead of time, this level's drawn. This is the highs. Look at this big drop off the high. So when you get up here after a big move, what do you think to do? You think to buy or sell? Novice traders buy. We sell. Imagine everyone in the world saying, gold's going to the moon. Buy, buy, buy. And you go, okay, I'll sell it to you at that price. And when it's down at demand levels and someone's saying, I want to sell, it's going down, I'm going to lose everything. I'll say, I'll buy it off you at that price. We used to have a joke in the office. We used to say we're relievers of pain. Yeah, we're like market makers. We're relievers of pain. When you want to sell, I'll buy it from you. If you want to buy, I'll sell it to you. The prices, retail prices, I'm happy to sell. Yeah, I'll buy at wholesale. I'll sell it. I'll buy at wholesale prices. I'll sell to you at resale prices. Remember, most novice traders do exactly that. They buy at retail prices and they sell at wholesale prices. You want to buy at wholesale prices and sell at retail prices. Yeah, you want to buy when everyone else is selling. Usually prices are low and the news is probably bad. And when prices are up high and everyone's interested in buying, like Bitcoin, yes, it's going to, I remember hearing it. Yes, it's going to 100,000. It's going to 100,000. And it was about, where was it? It's going to 100,000. That's what we heard. When prices were getting close to 70,000, it's going to 100,000. I'm like, no, it's not. If everyone's saying it's going to 100,000, it's going down. And price confirmed this. And most likely, you can see this, most likely, if we don't hold this level, you'll watch, and it's very likely that we're going to get down to 20,000. Okay, and it may happen pretty quickly because there's a nice, what we call tradable void here till we get to the next level down. So if we don't hold this level, we could go. And the other way that it could go up, since this is quite an extended move, sometimes we peeky-boo below and then snap back. That could be a way. That's a way of trapping sellers in as well. It's never a good idea to sell a breakdown, a breakout after a move down in price. If you're in already, hold. You want to wait for a pullback. That's usually the best way or the safest way to do it. Michael, I will answer questions, but that's a good question. What chart size do you, what what time frame you mean. Do you determine your trend so you can decide to buy in demand versus selling in supply? So I look at multiple time frames. It depends what time frame you're trading on. If you're trading on a 5-minute chart and you're using your hourly chart as a guide, or 15-minute, then what's happening on the monthly chart, well, could be relevant, but it's more relevant to the smaller time frame supply and demand zones. I've got all of them coming from the monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, 15, and 5. And sometimes I even go down to a 1-minute chart, depending on what's happening. But here you can see a clear move, change of trend over here, and a clear move to the downside. So you have to use multiple time frames to understand where you are. You don't want to buy an uptrend that's hitting supply level. So you're in an uptrend on the here's an example. You're in a say you're in a downtrend now, like you are over here on the 5-minute chart, but you're coming into demand here on the 15. Now, in certain circumstances, you may want to sell, but generally you want to wait for it to bounce or maybe break the area. So you've got to be aware, it's higher probability to sell up here than it is to sell down there. But this time, I would imagine it's probably going to break based on the bigger time frames. This is not a demand level you want to buy against this time. I think it will be short-lived and most likely going to break it. And you can see, let's go to the pound very quickly. And again, you can see this, when you get big moves up that come back down, and we're in a downward moving market here, even though we're coming down to demand. You see we're at this level. Yeah, so this is a downward moving market. So you got to be careful being on the buying side when the trend and everything on the bigger time frames is not to the upside. So this may continue down. Yeah, you don't want to be on the sell side here though, because it may bounce. Yeah, just like it did down here, it bounced back. If you want to be on the sell side, sell in supply, not in demand. Okay, so let me share with you, I don't know if Jane's here, but I'll share with you a trader success story. So this is a story about Jane, yeah, and Jane's now actually has her own course called Trading NQ at the Cash Open, and she is actually training a group of traders to do exactly what she does. So she came to me about over 4 years ago. It was the beginning of 2018, and she went with no real knowledge, no prior knowledge of the markets, and went from beginner to consistent profits in 3 months and been consistently profitable ever since. She found the market that fits her personality and lifestyle, applied what she learned, and mastered that. And I don't think, she can't remember the last time she had a losing day. She has losing trades, but losing days, I don't think she's had one for over a year or maybe even more. She can't remember the last time she had a losing day. So she's very, very consistent. So listen to what she said about the training. She started out by doing exactly what I'm going to share with you, how to read the trend, and she came into the live trading room and learned from watching us do this analysis. And she still comes to the live trading room whenever she can. She comes every Sunday for a weekly preparation session. She usually doesn't miss a session. She usually comes to every single one of these webinars that I do once a month as well. So listen to what she said. All I can say to anyone who wants to consistently profit, just do it. That training turned my whole trading around. From that day on, my trading has been so consistent, it is really mind-blowing. Once you understand the levels and can read the trend, you will beat the market every single day. However, the key is follow the pivot analysis, use the demand and supply levels, and adapt it to your own trading style. Be very disciplined. Don't be greedy. Stop when you've made your daily profit, and you will turn losing trades into winning consistently day in, day out. Simon's training can be adapted to any market. I mainly trade the NQ and the CL. That's the NASDAQ futures and oil futures. I use my own strategy based on Simon's education. I found the best thing was knowing what you are doing gives you confidence in your trades, and the fear of losing was gone. Trading had become a lifestyle, no longer a binary gamble or a nervous hope drop. Believe me, it's the best and only training to succeed with. This is Norman. Having been duped in the past to purchase useless courses, I had been reluctant to take the plunge, but having seen Jane trade and indeed spoken to you, I was satisfied that I was dealing with genuine people and not the charlatans who dominate the online educational space. I was not disappointed. The course was far and away the best online trading education I have experienced. My congratulations to you both on the course and your sincere efforts to advance your members' trading skills. So remember this. The best investment you can make in life is in yourself. As Jim Rohn used to say, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. But let your knowledge lead to action. So now you've seen a simple and powerful approach to reading the market. It's super simple. So I'm going to share with you an offer that I put together for you. This is exactly what Jane did to take her trading to the next level. So take it a step further and learn how to read the trend using pivot analysis. Again, this is going to go into details, and these are the benefits of knowing how to read the trend. You're trading the direction of the trend. The trend is your friend, remember, until the bend in the end. You'll know when a trend begins and when it ends. Exactly. For example, you could see the examples from today's market of sideways trends. When the market went up to the top of the base, top of the sideways trend, it went down to the bottom. When it went to the bottom, it went back up to the top. Make sure you're never fighting the trend. You don't want to be on the buy side right up in the level where it's going to turn down, likewise the other way around. And make sure you're on the right side of the market. And it will help you to develop a profitable trading strategy. You can develop a profitable trading strategy using trend alone if you wish. Or you can enhance an existing trading strategy. I've had people that come to me that have strategies and they apply this as well, and it filters out their strategy, and batting average goes up and their average win to average loss goes up. They take better trades and they start being more profitable. So here's the offer. Join my How to Read the Trend training session and trading room, as I said before. And this is what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to identify the current trend of the market, to analyze the trend in multiple time frames. Again, that's what you were asking before, Michael. How to actually put it all together. So exactly when a trend begins and exactly when a trend ends, and how this knowledge will dramatically affect your bottom line. And you're going to be able to watch us analyze and trade the live markets in real time every day. You'll see us prepare to trade ahead of time. You'll get all the trading ideas that we put out. We've called almost every major move in all the major markets for years now, since we've been doing the trading room. For years. Accurately. You know, and this is what, you know, what happened. How did Jane come to me? I used to put a video out on YouTube called Where is the Dollar Going Next? On Sunday, before the week started. And I was audited by a postdoctoral research fellow at Princeton University. Yeah. And he went through my analysis, and the accuracy of that was, at that time, I think it was about 85% of what I said happened. 85%. That was then. This was about, 3 or 4 years ago. So Jane saw what I was saying in those sessions before the market played out during the week. And then she watched the market play out almost all the time, the majority of the time, exactly what we said. So like, how is he doing this? So that's what got her interested. And then she came to me and did the training. So here's what people are saying. There's Ernest over here. Simon, this is phenomenal. I've been trading, studying for 3 years. Sadly, it's all been the wrong process. I've wasted tons of money, time, and effort. I've actively deleted all those programs, indicators, and now completely focus on what I've learned from your program. It's the only real way to trade, and it makes complete sense. And guess what? He's consistently profitable trader. He just started trading. We went through a process. I actually coached him. And he's now trading real money. And the last time we went through, he's making money consistently in the market, trading every single day. Consistent profits. For the first time in his life. And he's been trading for over 3 years. And he's gone through many other programs that were good programs, good traders, but it didn't work for him. Tom, I wanted to say that what you teach in How to Read the Trend training is brilliant. Before that, I'd picked up bits and pieces from your different traders, but it was never joined up. Your course brought it all together in a very structured and algorithmic way. No guessing needed. The facts jump off the chart. You are a mastermind. Matt, this is about the trading room. The trading room is very helpful in understanding how to go through the process. I've been trading for 11 years and I've not seen anything like what you do. Love how simple it is. I've mainly traded options with trades that last for 30 to 60 days. I've been looking for something I could use to day trade for 2 years now. I want to round out what I'm doing with another source of profits. I have not been able to find anything I could execute consistently. I'm just paper trading with your system. I've been doing it for a couple of weeks now and have had far better results than anything I have ever tried. So this is what you get in the training. It's an hour and a half. It's not hundreds of hours that you're never going to do. It's an hour and a half. You can sit down straight after this session, make a decision, go for it, and sit down for an hour and a half and watch it. Much like you sit here for an hour and watch this presentation. Take something that you can use tomorrow in your trading and then come and join the trading room tomorrow. Make a decision immediately. It's on demand. You can watch it as many times as you want. You can ask me questions and you're going to get 1 month access to the live trading room. It's $497 a month. You're going to also get access to an online trading community. It's so important to be part of a community. We have a community of traders that are moving together, are improving on a day-to-day basis. And it's amazing. This group of traders, almost everyone is successful. They weren't at the beginning, but they're moving together. They're helping each other. There's camaraderie there. There's questions that you can have others. There's people that are a bit more experienced that are helping the less experienced. You're never alone. And it's 24/7. You can ask, we have people from literally all over the world. So, you can ask questions, get answers, share ideas. And this is what our trading community looks like. It's just a snapshot. People sharing trading ideas, best trade, worst trade. And we also have, it's active now. There's people posting right now in there about today's trades in the NASDAQ, for example. So join now. The regular price is $894. Deadline's 2 days from now. You're going to receive $497 up, which is the price of the live trading room for 1 month. So today you only pay $397. You come to this page over here. So you click on buy now. It'll bring you to the checkout. So you fill out all your details. And then what you'll do is you'll get immediate access to the live trading room and the training. And you can come and join straight away. You can watch today's session, for example, and see what we talked about in today's session, go through the training and come and join us live tomorrow. You can see over here, it says $497 monthly. That's after the first month. It's a subscription that renews on a monthly basis, but you can cancel at any time. You can cancel immediately and you'll never be charged again. It's up to you. A lot of people stay in after the first month because they see the value of it. Okay, so you've got a whole month to try it. You don't have to make that decision today. You just pay $397. You get the whole month in the live trading room for free. You don't have to pay for it. Plus you get the training. And this is what you get access to. So you can go to my website here and click on members, and that brings you to the training portal. So how to read the trend is in here. And everything to do with the trading room is here. So you get in here and you only get access to how to read the trend, which is session 1 of how to read the market professionally. It's over here. And the trading room is over here. So the live trading room, you come in here, you click there. The trading sessions are recorded every day, so you can't make it live, you can come here. And our weekly preparation session is in here. You just click on there and you can see this is a session from this Sunday and this is a previous Sunday. We prepare ahead of time. So you'll see what we said in there. For example, Bitcoin's going down, highly likely going down. So you'll see the Bitcoin idea and the Bitcoin trade. Okay, so this is again a quick recap of the offer. How to read the trend is $397. 1 month in the live trading room is $497. That's a total of $894. Go to this link, tradesmartforex.com/promo, or click on the button below. And you only pay $397, and this could potentially change your life. Again, for a lot of people that have gone through this training, it's been a life changer. Take Jane, for example. She came through this training. She did this exact training. She came into the trading, and that's why we put this together. This is exactly what she did at the beginning. She's gone through the rest of the training since, but this is how she started and became a successful trader with this and this alone. So you can do the same. This was a turning point in her life, basically. It's changed her whole life. I want to say a huge, let me see if we've got any questions, but I want to say a huge thank you for attending. If you watch the replay, thank you so much. I appreciate the most valuable thing that we have in life is time, okay? And that you chose to spend your time here. I hope it was worth your while, even if you don't do the training and take the next step, that you got some value from this and this will help you, just from this presentation will help you get your trading on track, will help you take the next step. And if you do succeed from this and some of the ideas that I share with you and you apply them, please let me know. Email me to simon@tradesmartforex.com. I also have a YouTube channel. For those of you who have joined already, look forward to seeing you in the trading room tomorrow. If you can't make the live sessions as recordings, and it's really great that you were here. And I wish you all the very best of luck with your trading. And we're here to help. And thank you so much for joining. Thanks a lot, everyone.